Hey everyone, I'm rather incoherent, and as you can see my drill is running, but it's in the kelp forest now. I think what it might be, I'm not really sure what it is to be honest. This is the first piece of my base laid down, so it's easily within range of ints. So maybe the size of your base has nothing to do with the area of your base, it's just a radius out from your first piece, meaning the mushroom forest floor over there is like way out of range. And as I swim around, you can see I've made a second ore processor, I've got 2 solar clusters from the Field Creator Studio kits. I've got a lot of stuff going in the background while I've been gathering things, and I'm going to take you through it all now and show you. First, while I've been gathering things, at a certain point I stopped processing my gold. You can see I'm up to max power with my backup battery thing. And all these lockers here are just the gold I've been gathering and not actually processing because I want to get my money and spend it mostly while I'm playing on the channel. So let's quickly throw all this into these ore processors. As a reminder, there is a bug in Field Creator Studios. There's a lot of them. It's currently not even listed on the Nexus because it needs a more stable version before they make it that easy to find. But this bug just means whenever you save and quit, your account might cease to exist and you lose all your money, which is very frustrating if you don't know about it. I spend all my money before I log out though. In the future, this is going to be changing a little bit, but as you can see on the inside, I have a little window I can look out to see if they're running. This will allow me to, once I set up data storage, just draw things directly in here. And until then, I just have a bunch of lockers all filled with gold next to it. This is going to get us a lot of progress made today. As you can see, I've made this up from a 2x2 here to a 3x3 here to make room for some solar clusters. And let's go on a walk through the base and talk about what's changed, because I've done a good bit of base building outside of the videos. As you can see, there's a bulkhead here now. I've got bulkheads in any place that has immediate access to water. I believe these windows were here last time. Moving further in, our farm is still a mess. Don't talk to me about the farm. It's there, it's okay. Once again, if you have access from water, the moon pools have bulkheads now. There's another bulkhead on the far side. I'll come to that from the other way in a second. This is our production room. It's a little bit less trash than it used to be. Below us is a room filled with lockers, and it's the only sub-room that even exists at the minute. Heading out this way, we come to what is currently a kind of awful bedroom, as there are 3 entrances to it, sort of ruining the feel of being a bedroom. This entrance leads around to the moon pool that will someday be the prawn bay. Continuing on towards the grassy plateaus, we're gonna worry about that as we come back. This snakes around into a big central room here that currently has no purpose. Curving glass entryways, bulkhead. Coming out on the top, it'll give you a good idea of what that looks like because it gets a little bit hectic over here. You can see that rather than making this a straight line like I could have, I've chosen to do this. I'm just trying to minimize the length of major uninterrupted corridors. That's why I don't want it to be in a straight line here, which I could have done. Previously in the last video, it was a straight shot all the way from here to around here-ish, I think. And it was awful to look down. Now, coming over here, I haven't quite built all the hatches, but here's the scanning room. We're gonna pop in here through this hatch, which I guess means that we need a bulkhead here, doesn't it? Bulkhead constructed. Moving back in though, this is the corridor we were just at, where you're able to curve around to the grassy plateaus exit. In the future, I'm going to remake a lot of this out of glass, just not yet. I have a lot more titanium on hand for the time being. Another yet-to-be-purposed room. As we swing round into the kelp forest wing, you'll see that that's just unused. This is the production room. This is something I have plans for later. For the time being, it's just one of many little observatory bubbles I've got. Coming past the bioreactors, which have all been remade and filled with normal fish. Big update. De-Extinction's been uninstalled. The performance hit was so obvious, even only like 10 hours into the save file, that I had to cut that mod. Because it's not saving and loading, it's anytime time passes, fish are spawning. And it's just rough. Anyway, coming down to the end of the mushroom forest stretch, we have another little observatory bubble facing out over the tops. Climbing down, we have a proper observatory, more level with the mushroom forest. You can see our base from below over here. It's big and sprawling, but it's nowhere near finished. A lot of it's still empty. It's still very much a framework to grow in. And we have more observatory bubbles over here facing in other directions. Climbing down, we have one directly on the floor, a bioreactor and a hatch leading out. Above it, we have another identical bioreactor, and on top of that, we have a massive power bank that's currently at full charge. We also have our farms, which need to be grown out a little bit further because we're not quite done. The gel sacks will grow in full, all of this is completed. And as you can see, what I've settled on doing for my 6th one, because there are only 5 regrowable harvestable resources in the game, I'm going to run a row of 3 bulb bushes, and these 2 bulb bushes will someday become eye stalks and whatever the last one is that I forget right now. Ghostweed? Ghostweed. So this is technically harvestable resources you care about, but really it's just the in-game farming plot. When it comes to all the miscellaneous flora that have no real purpose, I'm not putting them in farms. I'll be putting those in aquariums. So all of these seeds will be going somewhere else in the future. As you can see, Arc 4 is unused, Arc 5 is unused. Coming to Arc 1, you can see I've caught some eggs in between videos. I've also caught pairs of each egg and pairs of each fish. I found out looking at the wiki something that might be true that I've never known before. If you put a pair of egg-laying creatures into the same containment, they'll breed just like fish would. So if that's the case, I want pairs of fish. And also, can cuttlefish breed? I thought I was limited to 5. I might be able to get a lot more than that, though. In the future, I think I do plan on making more than one base. This is definitely going to be the biggest base and the clear main base of the lot. But I think I will have other bases and other biomes in the distant future. But that's so far off right now that it's more of a passing thought than any sort of idea I have clear goals with. Popping back over to this side, you can see we finished processing those ores. It's honestly not even that huge of a tax on our power at this point with the multiple solar clusters. Those are a godsend for actually powering all of this heavy machinery. And right now, coming over to my drill, you can see it's set to only harvest gold. It's set to a filter of gold and only gold. Now, popping on my base for a second, I think today my goals are to finish building the arcs for the early biomes. I've done almost all the work for the mushroom forest, the grassy plateaus, the kelp forest, and the safe shallows way in the distance. But there are a couple of things that have evaded me simply because I didn't know they existed or couldn't find them without building a scanner room, and that felt like too much. We don't need this egg, we've already got jelly rays handled. But heading deeper into the mushrooms, I'm looking for a very specific type of plant that I didn't even know was in the game called a pygmy fan. The pygmy fans are entirely aesthetic, they serve no real purpose. They're just in the game as a pretty thing that you can harvest and plant, but I didn't even know they existed. And here you can see we've found the pygmy fan, guarded by the resident bone shark. He does hit kinda hard. I'm just gonna quickly take the pygmy fans and be on my way. I'll grab a second one, why not? I'm pretty sure they're gonna be tiny seeds. And someday we'll be planting these somewhere, not quite sure where, but they have a place in our arc, that's for sure. Now, next on our to-do list, I want to go to the safe shallows because there are a couple of things that I wasn't able to find. I just could not find rabbit ray eggs or gasopod eggs, and to me it seems like maybe the easiest way to find those things is just going to be, you know, to build a scanning room and let it do the work for me. So I was in the process of making solar panels to bring a form of power with me to my scanner, but I realize now that rather than making a random temporary base, I should start laying out the beginnings of a real base somewhere else. And if that's my goal, then I don't want to bring solar panels. I want to bring one of these. This is a telepower pylon. I bought a pair of them when I was originally trying to get this drill working. And what this does, it takes all the power in this base and just shunts it to somewhere else. For instance, another base. For some reason, it doesn't work to power the drills. The drills don't recognize it as a power source at all, but it does work as a power source within the base, and that's what I need right now. So we're going to go ahead and pick up a new telepower pylon and a heavy drill. The reason I need to get a second telepower pylon, even though I was using one earlier, is because there may have been a tragic construction accident resulting in the loss of my second pylon. And as you can see, once you're actually able to process ores and not just limited by power, things start moving a lot quicker with the FCS mod. So our current cart is kind of a lot of stuff. I was looking at what it would cost for us to get a fully functional cross-map data storage system going on. 2 antennas, 2 terminals, 2 data disks, 2 transceivers, 2 different types of server racks. The remote storage unit is technically not a part of this, but we're looking at like 1.2 million credits. We're gonna take a while to get there, but I do think we can get there this episode. I'm wondering if maybe I should keep doing Filtrator Studio stuff until such a time as I can buy all the cross-map data storage things that I might need to more properly set up the next base I'll be starting. And it will be a permanent fixture. I don't know how much of a base it'll truly evolve into, but I am going to be keeping it for, forever. It's not just a temporary scanner room I'll be building. We just built our newest drill, filled it up with lubricant, set it to filter for gold, and now eventually it'll be harvesting gold too. But the issue is it's just no fun to swim down here, get the gold, swim up here, get the gold, and swim over here. We want to set up a storage receptacle, and I've already sent in an order to buy one. I'll show you how that works shortly. Now, unfortunately, looking at my current number of credits, which is standing at about 3.7 million out of the potential 1.2 million that I need to set up my cross-map transfers, that's going to have to be established at a future point in time. The good news is we do have our second telepower pylon, so we can bring power directly to our base. We don't have to sit around and wait. The question is just, what do I want the base structure to be? And I mean, it's just going to be a multi-purpose room, I think. Yeah, just a multi-purpose room, a scanner room, a hatch, and the telepower pylon seems perfectly reasonable to me. So in a second, we'll dismantle this scanner room. We've already got the upgrades, and we'll be on our way. I just want to load the last of our gold before we go, so that I'll be quote-unquote at max efficiency in terms of generating power in my base and generating credits for FCS. I do really like this progressively larger FCS platform I've got. I don't know if I'll ever need more than 4 of these platforms, or these processors rather. I hope not, because I really like the idea of looking out my window and just seeing all of them. It sounds very aesthetic to me. I like the gap to this. I don't know what the rest of this will be for, but I like this platform as the FCS Studios nonsense platform. Now, unfortunately, as you can see, the remote storage unit is about as big as this entire hallway, so I have to put it somewhere else. So I figured I would show you my critical mistake. I was testing how far out I would need to build this to drop a multi-purpose room here. Because I was worried about it doing exactly this, about it creating this little broken bit here. So, it doesn't let you do this normally. I had to toggle this on. I saved before I did it, it's fine. So I quit out and I loaded my save, and yeah, rip 700,000 credits, I guess. Whoops. Holy shit, I got it back. My solution that actually worked there was fully quitting out of Subnautica and restarting the game caused that bug not to happen. Very nice. Not sure how consistent that is, but what can I say? Desperation pays off once again. Alright, we now have a little branching corridor off over here. Why do I need this branching corridor? Well, it's because I need to make remote storage units. They've got to fit somewhere. As you can see, it stores 200 items, but we don't do anything with it here. No, we set it up on the other side of things at the drill. Through to the drills, you can see there's a setting for Altera storage connections, which it doesn't have any because it's too far away? Question mark? Yes, it's now much closer and it's working properly. Coming down to this one, I imagine it will work the same way. Head over to the Altera storage connections, set it to use them. And now this should just automatically receive all the gold. Let's make sure there's none in here to bother us. It makes me feel a bit silly about going through all that trouble to make the room that I didn't even need, but oh well, here we are. So now out here you can see we have remote storage and it's picking up all the gold. So instead of having to go to each drill individually, I can just swing out to here, come back over here and throw all the gold directly into these processors. Just automating this as much as I can, making it as easy on myself as possible to do everything. You know that view of the kelp forest is talking about anything super important to these curving hallways facing back into their own biomes? This one doesn't really work anymore, does it? Like, you can see a piece of kelp there, but it mostly just shows you heavy machinery unless you walk out further. And if I were to make windows anywhere along this new pipe, it would just show you solar panels. Yeah, what can you say? The burdens of industry. It happens. It's weird to come up to the floating islands and be like, oh hey, look, it's a pretty biome, and not feel intense terror. Because even here, I'd be getting attacked by twist steels and worried about getting attacked by gulpers. And the reason I'm out and about exploring right now in the first place is because I need titanium to finish some stupid plans I've got. You'll see shortly, I'm not quite sure what I'll be doing with the giant room, but I do have a plan for where to put something else that the giant room has finally given me a place to put it. Or more accurately, the pathway to the giant room has given me a place to put it. Oh hey, I haven't changed any settings yet. It's in my to-do list, I just never got around to it. For some reason today, my computer's not glowing like the sun from a distance. I can't see them across the map. I wonder what's changed. That's very alarming, Subnautica. It is one hell of a base though, isn't it? Like, this actually feels like a sprawling mega base at this point. If you get on the inside, it's sort of samey and confusing at the minute because not enough is made of glass, there are no signs, and several rooms are vacant, but it's still very cool. Now, if I'm remembering correctly, I just need to go pick up some floaters from the grassy plateaus, and we'll be able to do something kind of amazing with them. Here's a good pile of rocks. Now, I do have some ideas involving how I might use these guys in one of my own bases. Because, like, there are some actual, like, in-universe explanations to how I can have floating platforms if I stick a bunch of floaters to the bottom of them. It's not something I really intend on doing, but it's a very cool idea to, like, just use free build and then stick floaters on the bottom of something to justify why it works. But right now, I actually do need floaters. There's a very clear thing I need to use them for, and as opposed to justifying why something is staying together, it's to break something. You can see there's a little hangar platform right next to all this business that we're doing. And I'm going to throw some floaters at it. Oh, wait, no, you weren't supposed to go that high up. You're supposed to hit it. Thought they'd have more momentum. That's... Man, they go far, don't they? I thought you could throw floaters at things to break them. This is not working how I imagined it would. They also aren't clinging to my base at all. They're just going straight to the surface of the ocean. Let me do a quick check. Is anything in here even damaged? I thought you could throw floaters at something to hurt it. It doesn't look like it. It also sort of ruins my idea, because, like, as far as I can tell, these guys are just sort of not attaching at all to base structures. Maybe that's an old patch only thing? Makes me very sad. Because now that doesn't make any sense that I could use them to make things float freely. Well, this whole floater thing's a complete bust. Well, whatever. I've got some very fancy bioreactor fuel, I guess. They have so much momentum that when they go up to the top of the water, they bounce out of the water. That's very impressive, guys. Well then, I'm not quite sure what to do with all these floaters. I honestly think they're just fancy bioreactor fuel, because I can't use them for what I wanted to use them for. I don't think you can knife your own thing open. There's no collision sound. I guess I can go get some mushrooms and do this the crazy way. It doesn't seem like I really have alternatives. The floater fiasco has, if nothing else, told me that I'm very low on bioreactor fuel. I need to go check all my other ones, because the main one is down to just 4 fish. And I imagine the others aren't faring much better. Well, that is better, to be fair. Not much better, but it is better. God, there's just so many fewer fish around, aren't there? Like, I can cruise around, my frame rate's fine, there aren't literally hundreds of ribbon rays. I love Re-Extinction, but the fish spawning bug is just such an issue that it's not really playable. If your save is under 10 hours, if you're just beelining the end of the game, it seems fine. But now that I know it's not based on save and load, it's just based on playtime, it really does fall apart for me. I will admit, it's much harder to power my bioreactors these days. There's a lot less going around to power it with. And good frame rate or not, that doesn't make me good at catching fish. I think I'm gonna drive the local spadefish population to complete extinction at this rate. The shadows of this base are starting to look progressively crazier down here. And I've just turned shadow distance up from 70 back to its default value of 100, so it will actually draw the rest of the shadows. Because my base is so big that it's not inside of the default draw distance. Alright, so instead of doing what I was previously trying to do, I guess I'm doing the mushroom trick, which means I need 10 mushrooms. And I'm gonna break them against the side of this base, which will be kind of hard to do because it's sort of like skeet shooting, except it's melee only and the skeets are explosive and they're currently falling in the water, which, you know, is probably easier than the normal part of skeets. So first I need my dagger out. I'm gonna drop a mushroom. That's definitely too far away. If I drop facing this, where does it fall? Yeah, we're good. Alright, that doesn't hurt me too badly. It hurts my pride a little bit. I don't know what's going on. They keep spawning get inside of it and shooting down. Maybe they need to look like along and above it. I don't understand. Mushrooms, please. I can't drop one side of a base. I understand that seems like the easy solution to my current problem, but it literally doesn't work. Oh my god, why are you like this? Wait, I have an idea. Start a foundation directly under this. Does this block movement? Yes. Alright, cool, we've done it. Oh, great. We haven't quite done it because they've all just fallen off the platform. There we go. Finally got it to break. That took way too much thought and effort. But now this part's broken and the entire rest of the base is fine. Being on a lower vertical level, it will never flood upwards. So this is a single broken bit here. Which means, now that it's flooding, we can unconstruct, reconstruct, pop out, and now we're swimming and walking at the same time. So the SeaglideMap moves very, very quickly. That was the most effort I've ever went through for a Super SeaglideMap, just so I was trying to do it in a different way. It does let it attach to the base though, so it looks a lot less homeless and terrible. It's still a weird little wart on the underside of it, but that's sort of appropriate for a glitch I probably shouldn't be using. However, we're past most of the hard stuff. I don't plan on using this near Leviathans. I mostly want to use this just to transport bases from one side of the map to the other a little bit faster. Oh no, my base's power is off now. My base is forever in dark mode if I do this. Do I mind that? Does that personally bother me in any way? Like, yes, it looks wrong. I don't disagree with that statement, but does it actually matter to me? Ah, damn it. I didn't think about the base's lights going off because one part of it was flooding. I didn't realize that would happen. Now I have to debate about whether or not it's worth it aesthetically. Everything works. The base is fine. It's just a little bit spooked right now. It's not quite sure what's going on. It thinks it's a flooded base because it technically is. Just that bit only. I think I've got to take out the Super Seaglide tube. It's really bothering me that my base's lights are like kind of out. Not really, but kind of. Maybe it's okay? It just feels so weird. It looks so wrong. Yeah. The Super Seaglide tube has to come from somewhere else. Now there is a roundabout solution for this where I could put the Super Seaglide somewhere. I could like build it to this point from all the way over there where it wouldn't be part of a base and it would stay not a part of a base forever. So I could like just put my Super Seaglide tube under here by building up from a crazy direction, and I guess that's what I've got to do. Not a fan of it though. Alright, so we've installed the first floor server rack into our basement. Right now it doesn't hold very much, but the big thing is that it can hold things that can be transported to other facilities. Of course, it's going to need some form of display, and one of these has to go. Alright, so now we have a base readout for our base here. It shows us everything that's in the base period, as well as what's in the lockers downstairs. But that's not quite good enough yet, because even though we've installed the transceiver disk, we still need to install an antenna to actually get everything connected. And here, on top of our other moon pool, we have the antenna installed. It's going to make sure this thing is set to push, because if it's not, we're screwed once we leave. This is set to push, so it can push power somewhere else. At this point, the base should be fully connected to the World Wide Web, and we have everything we need to connect a new base back to it. So let's get the base in a box and get out of here. Alright, this is our base in a box inventory. It's a scanner room, a multi-purpose room, a hatch. It is a power pylon, an antenna, an online storage kit to contact this base. We're not building a proper base, but we are building a proper outpost. That's all this episode's really been, has just been FCS grinding, the base walkthrough update, mod updates, and let's go start our... I can't believe it. I'm literally an hour and 10 minutes in this recording. Let's actually go start the scanning outpost that was originally the first thing in my notes on what to do, and is clearly the entire episode at this point. I put all of my bases into the storage compartments on this Seamoth, and instead I would bring a little bit more with me, because whatever I'm building, it needs food, I've just realized, which means it needs titanium and it needs lantern fruits. And honestly, I could use some lantern fruits too. Alright, with an inventory full of lantern fruit and titanium, we're finally good to go. So, where am I building my base? Why have I gone through all of this trouble? Let me turn off Fog of War real quick. Coming over to the map, which apparently doesn't feel like showing wrecks or beacons except for the scanner room right now. Don't worry about it, that's a glitch that happens sometimes. I need to build a scanner room somewhere in a safe shallows biome, and I've chosen right here on the edge of the dunes, like a sensible man would. The reason I've chosen this as my base is I was thinking about how to build bases in every single biome across the world, and realistically I wouldn't want to build bases in each and every single biome that there is. That would be tedious, that would be far too many to really invest a lot of effort into each of them, but if you overlap them to serve the purpose of multiple biomes, for instance, the Sparse Reef, the Sea Turtle's Path, the Grand Reef, and the Floating Island all right here on this corner, then you can build a lot of interesting, very multi-purpose bases, and that seems like the cool way to do it. Any base I build for the dunes is by definition going to be an observatory coming in from the edge, because the dunes is terrible, and the only way I'm ever making a safe shallows base that makes any sense is if I build it here, an observatory into the dunes, or here, an observatory into the crash site. But when you look at the parts of the crash site that you actually see from the safe shallows, it doesn't work. So this is the only real multi-purpose safe shallow space I can build, and then they'll be where we're heading to. See you when we get there. You know you're in the safe shallows because of the sounds of distant explosions and screaming, which is always weird to me that that's the audio cue for being in the safe biome. Alright, we're showing up on the very western edge of this. I think this is what's the end of what is truly classified as the safe shallows. But I mean, the dunes isn't actually adjacent to this. And as we push further west, even though it's telling me it's the dunes, this is the grassy plateaus. I feel a little bit lied to. Hey, buddy. I need to build all the way out to here to build a proper observatory. So I'll have to come back with some more stuff later to build a huge pipeline out. It makes sense that the observatory being a very far-reaching edge of the base and not the main goal. Dude, shut up. No one thinks you're doing anything. Get out of here. You're wasting my time. But it's supposed to be a safe shallows base first and foremost, a Dunes Observatory second. Go away. So I think I'm okay with building here. I need to spend a hot second making sure that it's actually safe before I get out and knife that sand shark. Because Reapers very much do one-shot me. Oh, wait a second. There are other ways to kill a sand shark than with a knife. Got bad news, friend. Oh, is he dead in one? No, he'd be upside down if he was dead. I'm pretty sure I'm better at jousting than he is. I certainly hope I'd be. Well, maybe he's learned his lesson and he won't fight me anymore. The death moth, huh? I just realized I set myself up for the joke when he finally does die, but oh well, it's fine. Not a big deal. So, I want this out the way. My inventory is full, that checks out. First things first, multi-purpose room right here on the edge. Next thing's a hatch. So we're gonna need to start getting things out of my sea moth, which feels very precarious. This is the wrong side. Alright, that's the one piece of quartz I'll need. We can pop in and just throw down a bunch of plant pots to get rid of all the titanium that's clogging my inventory.
Emergency power.
Alright, now we can drop down the scanner room. This seems perfectly reasonable because we do want to scan the safe shallows, not anything else. Am I seeing him in front of me? I can't tell what the wiggly bit I'm seeing is. It's very murk. But more importantly, go over to exterior modules, find the antenna. Alright, we need multiple. God, I don't like hearing him roar constantly. Just balance it precariously here, that's fine. Throw this one on top of the roof, as best centered as I can get it. Change this to pull. Please, game, I want to set it to pull. Oh, I need to take this out of my hands to try. There we go. Pull from the main base, thank you. And now you'll see that when we hop in here, our power is the main base's power, because we're just teleporting it across the planet to here, which is why there's no such thing as too much power at that base. Now, is there anything else that I haven't done yet? I've emptied out my storage containers. I have 2 titanium for some reason. I need to set up all of the data storage stuff, and install my upgrades, of course. But I may as well set this to scan for eggs now, as soon as the upgrades are installed, so it can be doing its job while I finish building the base. I think I'm going to leave these here and pick up more magnetite on the way back home. That seems sensible to me. We want creature eggs. I'm assuming that's a catch-all icon, and it's not only scanning for stalker eggs. That would be very upsetting if that were the case. So we have a wall server here, which I'm just going to move all the way to the edge. We have the big old terminal. And here we're going to install a data disk and a transceiver. Now this holds 48 items and it can connect to the worldwide network. Okay, you don't have to set them to the worldwide network. I thought you had to toggle a button. That's the teleporters though. So now I can go look at everything in this base from here, or I can just put stuff here. Apparently I made 40 bases between these two. Don't worry about it. The numbers seem largely random, gonna be honest with you. Now, I'm worried that all of these eggs, like literally all of them, are going to be... I don't want to use my sea moth, and I don't want to use myself either. Okay, that is definitely a gasopod egg. I need 1 more gasopod egg and 2 rabbit ray eggs. That looks very different, but it might just be the lights. No, this is rabbit ray. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, where are the bombs? Alright. Little bit danger, little bit danger. So I need 1 more rabbit ray and 1 more gasopod. These are probably all crash fish. Yes. Now this is probably crash fish. Yes. I'll grab the quartz that I'm flying around. Quartz is a resource that I'm criminally low on, and I need so much glass in the future that it's never going to stop being something I'm low on. There's my second gasopod. This could be a rabbit ray. Nope, that's gasopod. Gasopod. Can't see yet. Gasopod. Gasopod. Where are the rabbit ray eggs? Yeah, that's gasopods. Is it? Let me see the eggs in my inventory. Wait, which one are you? You're the small one? Wait, I'm confused. Did I grab... I'm so confused. Do I somehow have 2 rabbit rays and only 1 gasopod? Do they look really similar somehow to me at night? Yeah, that's rabbit ray again. Wait, drop this egg. What do you actually look like? Big with a couple of glowy spots. Okay. Not that. Not that. Apparently got very confused, and these look a lot more similar than I realized they would. Not you. Switch tanks. Fuck. You can't touch me. Turn clipping on. Don't come down here. This is, not the observatory I had in mind when I started this base. Let me put it that way. This is a little bit scary. I was thinking when I switched to O2 tanks that I shouldn't have done that. Hi there, champ. I can't be here because he could learn to turn and catch me on my way out, but I can't stay in here because I will eventually drown. Scanning base is there. Seamoth is here. Seamoth is safety. Base is safety. What am I talking about? Get in the base. Okay. Hi there. Stop that. Get out. Leave. You do not live here. This is my home. Well, actually, you do live here. No, that's not true. You're my next door neighbor. You're grossly overreaching our boundaries right now. Please stop. I'm gonna be honest. Wait. I have an idea. Global network, base 262, sorry, base 222. Do I have fiber mesh? I do. I'm also gonna might need more than this. I have some extra titanium on me already. Can I build a bed? Yes. I'm going to sleep and wait until daytime. This is awful. Honestly, the sounds of the Reaper screaming are quite soothing. They help you get to sleep very quickly. Or maybe they make you pass out. Not quite sure which. Okay, the Reaper appears to have chilled out a little bit in the intervening time. We are now staying in the Seamoth while we look at all the eggs until we find a big glowy egg. That is presumably all stalker eggs. They're in the wrong biome. We're gonna head back this way, opposite the Reaper. That seems like a sensible thing. Rabbit ray, rabbit ray, wrong biomes. Rabbit ray, rabbit ray. I have no idea why it's so hard for me to find these gasopod eggs. Rabbit ray? Rabbit ray. Probably. Yep. So rabbit ray eggs are consistently found like in the same groupings as mushrooms and other flora. They leave them hidden there. Crashfish eggs are left in caves. Where the hell did I find this gasopod egg? And how am I struggling to find it with scanning on? Those are going to be crashfish 100%. Wait. No, but it is a rabbit ray all the same. I might have to go scan a different part of the safe shallows. This is very weird. Right, there are gasopods right here. I would expect their eggs to be in some capacity next to them, right? There we go! They just have like a little clutch of eggs in the bushes next to them. Finally. So now I've got the 4 eggs that I actually came here for. We can turn off the scan. It's not pretty, but it's a start to an outpost.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
It's very much the start to an outpost. This is a messy base, but it works. There's something I should have been looking for, but I wasn't thinking about it. The fact I haven't saw it already makes me think it hasn't... The fact I haven't noticed it already makes me think that it isn't around. There's a sort of rare plant called a blue palm that spawns in several different biomes. The safe shallows is one of them. And I need to grab that for my arc as well. And we're done here for the time being. It's nice to have the base up and running, but building lengthily on any outpost isn't really my goal at the minute. In the future, we're going to expand this into an observatory and a like full-on proper base, at the very least with its own dedicated bedroom and the like. But for now, I'm just gathering stuff through safe shallows on my way back while I look for this stupid fern. Or this stupid palm, rather. Every time I see these mohawks, I always... Is my inventory full? Oh yeah, I am carrying a shitload of bags. That checks out. Wait a second. I can gather things much more efficiently. I shouldn't be going back to my base right now. I should be taking all of this inside and depositing it into the base from here. I can only hold 48 items in the storage container, so I can't do too much, but I absolutely can do a bit, and that will be very helpful in the long run if I were to do it. There's a coral tube near here that should have an absolute shitload of quartz. I think that should be my main goal in terms of harvesting. Again, I'm really here for the blue palm. It's the reason I didn't just drive home in a straight line and space out already. But I do think there is plenty here to do that I care about. Don't mind me, I'm just getting the titanium salvage. No reason to be angry. Alright, let's go ahead and deposit what we can into the other base for the time being. Not this base. Go over to base 222, deposit to base. No, not the Seaglide. I want that. All the metal salvage. This stuff. Just a way to get a little bit more inventory space. Eventually, I'd just be able to deposit, like, essentially unlimited items into the same base, but we're not anywhere near there yet. But on that note, I think I'm going to spend what little money I currently have purchasing a couple more data disks for the base so that these outposts are far more efficient in the future. So let me deposit all of that, but I'm pretty sure I've exceeded 48 items? I don't know, we'll figure it out when we get there what's going on exactly. For all I know, I'm throwing metal salvage into the void, but I'm going to go ahead and start heading back now. And on my way back, my goal is just to fill my inventory, at least what I have left. That wasn't an attack roar, it was just a loud one. I think we're good. But on the way back, like I was saying, my goal is just to fill my inventory with quartz. There should be a fairly prominent coral tube somewhere in this biome. This biome's only about 30 meters across or so it's fairly easy to find any specific thing you're looking for. Except for the bloody blue palms, those are basically invisible. The funny thing is they're not invisible, they're just rare. Because they are very, very obvious when you see them. For now, though, I'll settle on getting a good load of quartz, and I'll look in other safe shallows later. Evidently, this is the one coral tube I've already gone through. Well, it's fine, there's plenty of high quartz caves around. There's also, like, quite a few crash fish in these, but I mean, when's the last time I actually got hit by a crash fish? We're not really in danger. Alright, that's a pretty full inventory, a nice haul of quartz. Both storage compartments are full. By all accounts, my other base should be full. Let's head on home. Or jump out of my Seamoth immediately on accident like a big old goofball. There are so many acid mushrooms in these biomes, man. But as you can see, as I'm traveling back, I'm looking for those blue palms. I'm just not finding them is the issue. Is that one? Holy shit, we did it! We found him! In fact, it's several. I'm gonna have to drop some salvage for this probably. But that's quite alright. Yes. Alright. And with that done, that's the last of our early biome ARC collection then. We have every single flora and fauna from kelp forests, safe shallows, grassy plateaus, and mushroom forests with one exception. We don't have furrowed papyrus. I'm not quite sure where to find it in grassy plateaus. I know it's there somewhere. I'll find it eventually in a later biome though. With most fish, I don't go out of my way to ram them and kill them, but with biters, I'll make an exception. I've added 2 more servers to the server rack now, and we're gonna go right over and see how much gold we've acquired during that outing. For the record, gold's worth a little over 20,000 each, so whatever number we have times 20,000 is how much funds we'll have to spend as we finish processing it. Still used to going to the drills themselves. We have 68 gold, huh? Well, I've been rather incoherent. I hope you've been enjoying the series, but for now I think I'm gonna call it. Today we finally built our first outpost base. I walked you through all the catch-up that I needed to for little bits of base expansion that have been happening off screen, showed off how FCS Studios is being automated and how it's working. But I think that's all the time I've got for today. It might be a short video depending on how much gets edited out, and if it is, I'm sorry for that. But regardless, I'm done for now. Next time, we've got more FCS Studios to go through. We need to make sure we have our Jellystream Caves arc finished, which has a lot of different flora and fauna down there we need to pick up. And after that, I think it's on to progress, on to the Sparse Reef, and then on to truly unexplored areas in this campaign, or in this playthrough so far, rather. But for now, I'm done. I'd rather coherent. I hope you've been enjoying the episode. I hope you're enjoying the series. If you are, then like, comment, subscribe, YouTube algorithm, blah, 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 Patreon, blah, blah, blah. See you in the next one.